Yeah. Hello.
We just watched Kizuna. What's up?
It's me. Somebody, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I am Dylan, and I'm here with my two friends who...
The only two friends he has.
Yeah, I got Sean. Say hi, Sean.
Hello.
Fucking
Hi.
just doesn't listen to me. Hey, Amato. say what's up, dude.
What's up, dude?
Thank you. See, that's how you follow directions. Anyway, we are some varying in terms of how long we've been fans, Digimon fans. Amato is a lot more deeply into like all Digimon stuff, whereas I'm like specifically about the anime, mostly Adventure and Tamers, and I know a little bit of Data Squad stuff, not a whole lot. And like I know about like 2 DS games pretty in depth, but that's about it. Sean is a more recent fan, wouldn't you say, Hal?
Quite recent. Dylan and I watched 01 together.
Yeah, subbed, which was the first time I ever watched it subbed.
It was neat.
And he really enjoyed it. And then we watched Try over the vacation over the summer. That was neat.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. So guess what? We all have opinions. And if it wasn't clear, we all watched Digimon Adventure Last Evolution, Kizuna. Kizuna, I don't know how the preferred pronunciation is or is not. This is very unprofessionally made.
Very.
So, as you can tell with that, but I wanted to try to make a video and like talk about opinions, comparisons to other Digimon media, you know, past adventure content, whether it's Try, 02, or 01. Sean actually hasn't watched 02 yet, which, you know, so that might be a deal breaker for some of you, but whatever.
They were like, hey, it's that guy, and I was like, who?
So I will say, with this movie, I don't feel like you need to know anything about 02. Like, you get more out of it if you do.
The one guy likes ramen. That's all we need to know.
Like, obviously, Sean has seen the show in the past, but not as, like, in depth or, like, watched all the way through. Like myself and Amato, at least the English dub.
I haven't seen 02.
Yeah, so, very cool stuff, dude. Like, yeah, I don't feel like you need to see it. If you haven't seen 02 and you want to see Kizuna, just see it. As long as you've seen 01 at all,
Ramen guy is not the main character.
you're probably fine. Like, you get more out of it, and like you understand that they're like important. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. All right, so let's start with, you know, the least controversial, which is what we liked, which is more likely what people are gonna agree with us on. Sean, why don't you go first as the newest boy?
Yeah, I think what I liked most about Kizuna was just how much of an emotional response it was able to evoke from me, especially toward the end.
Yeah.
Like, when... are we doing spoilers here? Are we doing spoilers?
Okay, so spoiler warning, sorry. I kind of feel like we have to. Like,
I mean, the movie's...
There's no point in that. Okay, your non-spoiler review starts now. It's good. End of non-spoiler review.
If you don't want spoilers, leave.
Here on out, there's
this is the wrong video for you if you don't want spoilers.
I don't even know what video is going on in the background, but if you still want to watch it, just mute.
It's just going to be Agumon eating.
There is a really fun... It's so funny whenever they like split and they turn into Koromon and Tsunomon, and then you have Patamon and Tentomon just shoveling cheeseburgers into their fucking mouth.
Which we might show a clip if that's not copyright.
I don't know if that clip's even available right now, but maybe
I can make it available.
Anyway, Sean.
Yeah.
What did you like about the movie, and also speak up a little bit?
Okay. So what I liked about the movie, as I said, was how much it was able to make me feel. Toward the end, you have a moment where Matt and Ty are turning back toward their respective Digimon, and they are not there. This is like toward the very end of the movie, and it's just a huge gut-punching moment.
Yeah.
Just a lot of emotional, feelings.
I definitely agree with that. I did spoil myself a lot to this movie. There were things, but like, even if you read spoilers for anything, again, unless it's a book, because if you read book spoilers, you probably just read the book. But I feel like I got a lot out of it still, and I knew it was coming, and you guys could probably hear me sniffling. Like, I knew it was coming, and like, I honestly thought I might,
I could hear you and Amato both making noises, and I was like, I'm just not going to look at it.
I thought I was going to actually start crying when it happened, and I didn't, but that doesn't mean it wasn't fucking horrible.
I had tears running in my eyes at least 3 times throughout the movie.
Dude, my eyes were getting watery, my face was getting hot, I was like, don't.
Like, it's not just that part that's sad, because, like, there's a lot of interactions with Taichi, Yamato, Tai, and Matt, and they're like Digimon, where like after they know that like it's gonna happen, that there's multiple times where it's like, oh fuck, it coming. Like, I don't even know anything about Minoa or whatever, however you pronounce her name, but whenever it shows you her backstory, essentially, that was also sad.
I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Right in the feels.
Mato, you look like you're itching to say something.
No. I'm just...
What did you like about the movie?
Is that all you like, Sean? Is that all the thoughts you have?
Is that all I liked about the movie? Obviously, it's a pretty amazing looking movie.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly had a budget for this thing, and they used it pretty well. The explosions and shit looked amazing. Like they did in Try, except I think better. I think they look better.
I think the animation is better. It's kind of like a meet in the middle in the best way possible of like the original art style and Tries. Because I like Try a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
but like
the movie begins with a battle, and it's pretty amazing how it looks.
Yeah, because like you're used to see with Digimon, even in Try, you're used to seeing like animation just like stop at a point, or it's just like a zoom in. Or something, or blatant like recycling of animation, but that doesn't happen at all.
It looked great at the beginning, and it looked great at the end.
Omnimon is CGI, and I didn't even realize that until after, like the final point, like whenever he's fighting at the end.
Oh yeah.
When he first shows up, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's blended in pretty well.
Given they're like an orange world during that part.
Yeah. Pretty easy to blend it in there.
But like the animation is done really well. I like how some people would describe Try as like stoic, like all the characters are like stoic, and I wouldn't say that, but I would say that Kizuna's characters are a lot more expressive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And because like if you already see the movie like we have, I feel like it's worth it to watch it again, even if you're watching it on mute and you're only looking at Ty's face the whole time.
I feel like
because he makes so many different faces and expressions throughout the whole damn thing.
I feel like a great way to flaunt your budget is just not just to show like great explosions, but like just small like facial features and like minute changes and emotion in the characters.
Yeah. All right. So it's probably not all Sean likes, but some more people gotta talk. And it's not gonna be me. Amato, let's go,
baby. It's not gonna be me either. Come on, Amato. I mean,
obviously, like, if you don't agree with Sean, like, you can bring it up. But if you agree with Sean,
I do agree with Sean. He's a newbie. He got what he could get out of it.
Uh-huh.
Like, but going back to the opening fight that he mentioned, dear God, seeing Parrotmon just come out of the gate.
Yo, dude. Yeah. Whenever him, Angelmon, and Kari are under the bridge, and you see like every frame of his wings flapping, is fucking sick. And I know that like for other anime people, they're like, "Oh, so what? The fucking I don't know, Sword Art Online or something.
No, you don't.
Code Geass.
No.
How I Met Your Mother.
Sorry,
My Hero or shit like that. Like, you never have to, like, worry about that.
Yeah.
But, like, Digimon, it came from a toy and came as far as it has.
Oh, yeah.
So as a fan of the show, it's just so cool to see.
It looks amazing. If you're a snob for animation.
Like, I was already, like, mega impressed by, like, everything Try had. And then this one's like, yo, but what if we did that, but
what if
more?
we top that?
The two big things I do want to talk about, I'll save towards the later bit of this recording, just because they are a bit more controversial issues.
Stuff you might not like.
Yeah.
Some of that, yeah.
Gasp.
But the one thing I do like is, hypothetically, this proves that Mako-man is still alive.
Hypothetically, yeah. At the very least, her data was salvageable.
Yeah. Because while
that shit on the flash drive.
towards the end of the thing, Ty, Matt are in the digital world. They're confronting Minoma. Eosman appears, and they look around to see all the other destined. Except for Sora, which, thank God. Sorry, Sora fans.
Yeah, really, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's part of the thing. Controversial issue.
Yeah.
But we get to see Willis, we get to see Michael, we get to see the Russian girl at Florimon, whose name escapes me at the moment.
That little girl that fought with Wormmon for Ken's attention was also there.
I did not see that.
I did. You don't know that, Sean, but
we hypothetically get to see, what's his name? Oikawa?
Oikawa, yeah. Oikawa's like Digimon is there.
And so is a little kid that looks
like,
kind of like Oikawa
At
did.
the very least, it's a nod toward that character because, like, he's dead. So
yeah, so that we don't think it's actually him.
Yeah, so there is that. But it is still a cool nod toward.
And doing all the Eosman fighting in the human world, not digital world, we get to see so many cool... we get to see people probably experience their first Digivolutions.
Yeah.
Betamon into Seedramon. There's some unfortunate Digitamer out there, or Digidestin in this universe, who is paired up at fucking Numamon, and I feel so bad for them.
He just throws a bunch of shit, It's very,
fuck.
Like, I feel bad for whoever has to clean up that area.
Yeah, for sure.
Funny.
I agree with both of you with all the things that you like. I like, the characters in the show, or not the show, the movie, but obviously the show as well. But obviously the stars of this show is Taichi and Yamato, which we can get into opinions about that later. But the ones that you do get to see, at least somewhat more often, Koshiro, pretty much just Koshiro.
Koshiro and the O2
TK
kids.
and Kari are there pretty often, as well as the O2 kids, which it is really cool. Like, I liked all the O2 kids in this movie.
Yeah, I'm glad they actually got a part in this movie.
They were all pretty true to character, from what I remember. And
Cody's still my favorite.
And
is that Ramen Man?
No, that's
Cody's
Davis.
short boy with Armadillo.
Armadillomon just hacks a card slider with his nail.
He does do that.
That's so cool.
But like so those four are good. Everybody when they show up are good, which we'll get into it later. But Taichi, Yamato are very true to character, and they react in the way you would expect them to, considering everything, include like 01, 02, and Try included.
This is like, what, 5 years after Try?
Correct.
Yeah, but I know 5 years is a lot for a person to change, but throughout the entire movie, they're just causing damage to the city.
Yeah.
And Ty didn't really seem phased outside of when Parrotmon was about to drop onto a skyscraper.
I mean, it's at least
Like, that was his whole big thing in Try, at least.
Well, I get over that.
He got over it to an extent. He still, even in Try, you could see him trying to minimize the damage to surrounding
areas. And at the end of the day, like, if he is worried about that, that's not what the movie is about.
Yeah.
So, like, Ty is, I believe, 22 in this movie, if not 21. No, I know for a fact Izzy and Mimi are 21. So
they would have to be 22.
I think.
And Joe 23.
Joe 23 or 24, I can't remember. But, anyway, yeah. So they, like, he isn't concerned about that, or at least not audibly. Or he says, like, yikes and shit like that.
But that was more like him risking himself to pull people out of the area.
Because, like, the thing is, like, clearly at some point between Try and now, Digimon have become more, like, normal. And everybody seems aware that, like, Tai Chi and their friends, like, saved them.
Yeah,
so
often,
like maybe
anyway.
it's not as much of a concern anymore, or it's still a concern, but it's not something.
It's more along the lines of like DC Comics and them just being quote unquote heroes, so property damage might not matter.
That and like at the same time, like clearly they know whenever a digital gate opens and something's coming, and they have a more like. They have a process of how they deal with this stuff and, like, evacuate the people, prioritize saving people.
Oh, worst case scenario, all the property damage comes out of Izzy's pocket.
Which is infinite, so...
Well, we don't know that. We don't know
it might as well be.
He's got stacks on stacks on stacks. The man owns a business.
Other things I liked that haven't already been brought up, I like the references to the original... evolution sequence and the original ultimate or perfect evolution, depending on what version you watch.
Yeah,
they're both really cool. I will say I don't get the same feeling as watching the 01 Metal Greymon sequence as I did getting out of it. I just feel like 01's is just forever in my head, and we're like spoiled by Adventure 2020's the Metal Greymon evolution.
Mugendramon coming over his face to make the metal mask.
You'll see it someday, Sean. Anyway.
Alright.
Yeah, so overall thoughts, or well, I guess that would be the ending, but I do like this movie quite a bit. I'm not going to tell you it's bad. I never would. But yeah. I liked a lot of what I got out of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I should have seen it in March.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something to talk about is COVID-19 directly delayed people in America from watching this movie watching this movie legitimately for like 9 months, essentially.
Yeah,
They're not 9, I guess 6.5.
I'm just glad Fandango honored the refund.
So, I've been wanting to see this forever. Shout out to Shout Factory for sending me my pre-order early. A week early, in fact. We watched it on Blu-ray, not digital. Got my lithograph, which I didn't even know what that was. I just wanted a free gift. And it's a poster of the movie poster, so... If there are any available still, just go on Shout Factory and see if you can grab you one, because I think the movie poster is really sick.
Yeah.
Another thing I liked compared to Try, and Try I wouldn't say is bad, but they actually like drew Agumon well for the whole movie, whereas some angles of Agumon and Try are horrifying.
Yeah.
But not like they're bad, but like they did a better job here. All the other Digimon and Try look fine, but Agumon, I don't know. I think he's too skinny in Try. I don't know. But anyway. So, does anybody else have anything they want to say about in particular things that they liked or like certain moments of the film that you enjoyed in particular?
Can we talk about that final evolution? That
of course we can, Sean.
Yeah, it's literally their final evolution.
We're here to talk about whatever.
Fucking amazing. Like they had like humanish faces and like red lines going through like a.
I do wish there was like a sequence.
Yeah.
With it. I think that would have been cool. But I like what we did get though, where like they're grabbing each other and like looking into their partner's eyes and shit.
As soon as they were on screen, like their final evolution forms, I was like, that shit's lit.
Yeah, you did say that.
I did say that.
You did in fact say that.
It was fucking amazing, and the final battle is stupendous. You got to see.
Very good.
Got it. Well, if you haven't seen this movie already, I don't know why you're listening to this point. But if you ain't, you got to watch this movie. It's good.
Koshiro like runs the world basically. All the smartphone digivices are made by him.
Oh yeah.
And he owns a corporate. Him and Mimi both own corporations at this point. And he has a list of all the Digidestined in the world. So like he is very important in the movie, at least because the villain wants that list.
Yes.
And, they succeed, but not before Koshiro lets the people know where the fuck he going, basically.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised he was able to clearly type out the message from behind his back.
Homeboy Koshiro, he familiar with keyboards.
Yeah, I know. But me, who I live on my laptop and my computer, I can barely type with my eyes closed behind my back.
Well, with a dial pad, though, I feel like it's easier to memorize, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because what he sent was coordinates.
Yeah, he was really using the burner phone, too,
yeah,
so...
the burner phone.
It didn't exactly have a full-on keypad, so it could be a bit easier.
He figured it out, like he usually does. I don't like how the Manoa tries to act smarter than him. She's just not. I'll say it.
Yeah.
Koshiro broke it.
Well, I mean,
she's just crazy.
Has Koshiro ever created his own Digimon?
Yeah. No, but
he hasn't because he likes Tentomon just the way he is.
Yeah, dude.
Young Koshiro, huh?
He hacked Digivolution in the original show.
Yeah, I know.
He just presses enter and then Beetle turns into Kabuterimon.
Big Beetle.
So, like, that's Koshiro. I already talked about Tai and Yamato quite a bit.
But can we talk just for a second? Thanos has the Infinity Glove.
That's true.
The Dragon Ball Z universe has the Dragon Balls. Infinite power.
Yeah.
But neither of them are as broken as the motherfucking whistle.
Yeah, that whistle's pretty fucking busted.
Kind of cracked. Not gonna lie.
It's a really cool reference.
But how did the whistle make literally every other kid disappear?
Well, the Omnimon destroys all the other Eosmon, right? And that's how.
But destroys a lot of them. But they were already brought in and already on the scene.
I don't know. At the end of the day, who really cares? It's still sick.
Yeah.
We can talk about legitimate things.
It doesn't make sense, man. How'd they wake up? Shit movie.
So, you could say that, the whistle affected... The whistle, from my perspective, only affected those that knew of the whistle.
Yeah.
I think the explanation that you're supposed to get out of it is Omnimon has freed the rest of them, and the whistle woke up. Because obviously, Mimi was still in a coma, and they were all still in a coma and woke up later. So they were all still comatose while they were there.
Yeah, but I don't know if Realist, for example, Michael, for example, because their eyes cleared up when the whistle blew as well, but when it panned back to the main cast kids as tall, as how they are now, everybody else was just gone.
I guess it's just, so, I don't know. Either, they, didn't wake up from coma because they wanted to fight with their friends and shit. That's probably what they're gonna say if you would ask anybody.
Yeah.
But the whistle scene is really good. All the references in the movie are pretty good, to be honest. I'm trying to think of anything else like explicitly referenced. Like Yamcha's harmonica didn't really come up at all in Try, but it comes up here. I think it does come up.
Yeah, it comes up like once in Try.
Right before the reboot happens, Gabumon wants to hear and play the harmonica.
And it's similar to how it happened here. Gabumon went to hear him play right before he vanished.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you got a harmonica? He's like, yeah, I got a new one. He's like, let me hear it. And it's like, yeah, let him fucking hear it, man.
Let him fucking hear it, dude. So anybody got anything else to say about like what you liked and like
everything, every single thing?
I mean, then this would just be over if that were the fact. But
I can't think of anything I can like same as what you said.
Like,
I can't
think of anything,
reference anything.
We're not just if you think of something else you like, I'm not gonna be like, no, we already talked about that. Don't bring it up.
Yeah.
So like, if we come up with something, feel free to say it after we get done with like when we talk about what we disliked or whatever. Yeah. After that, with like closing thoughts or something, then we can talk about shit we forgot.
But
anyway.
Can we talk about people who are going to see this movie and be pissed?
So we're going to get into more
controversial,
negative, not things we didn't like, negative opinions, controversial opinions, stuff we didn't like about the movie. I don't feel like starting, and Sean did last time.
Okay.
Amato seemed like he had something on deck earlier. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't like how we had to wait until the very end to figure out that Biyomon had just vanished off screen. Yeah. I don't like the fact that it happened off screen.
Yeah.
I get what they were going for, and like it works.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it is
like
optimal.
Like is Biyomon in the movie at all?
No, not.
Was she at the beginning?
No,
because she's on the poster.
Yeah, she's on the poster, but she's not there at the very beginning.
So Sora was hugging her at one point. I don't know if you see all of Biyomon, but
that could also be when she vanished. At that point.
Yeah. Because
I guess knowing that, that's what you would assume.
Like, you wonder later on if Piyomon's vanished, but then you're like, well, Sora was pretty desperate to hold on to Bird, so.
And when they do call Sora, well, not call her, but they mention that how she has really thrown herself into the flower garden business work.
Yeah.
The flower arrangement. So, I guess she's trying. I guess that's like a hint, because we get told that after they find out about the light.
Yeah.
Counter.
The whole like ring and that.
Which, personally, it doesn't make sense how Sora would go first, because
I think that's kind of by design. Is how like. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but at the same time, you can't really say for certain that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because they make a big deal in the movie, or at least Jedi does, and the main villain.
About potential.
Potential. And what potential basically means is, like, how much more you have to do in your life and how old you are, essentially. And, like, Sora is she's accomplished and all that, and has apparently met her potential in one way or another.
I mean, that flower arrangement she did make was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
When we did get to see it.
Yeah. So, like, she's where she's going, essentially, and that's why. And then it's also based on you lose more time as you fight as well.
And judging from the ending, where we get to see Monoma's life story. She got into college. She was at 14 going into college.
Yeah.
That's fucked up for first off. Just
yeah, like
as an American, that's scary to me.
The process. I mean, they don't try to tell you it's a perfect process on how this whole potential thing works, and I think it works better that way, because then it's like. It's not a perfect system, and we're not saying it's fair, but that's just how it happened.
To me, the moment Monoma fucked up with that is when she told Muthomon, I'm going to be fine on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like...
once you internalize that...
Basically, it's when you internalize that I am growing up is basically when it happens.
So,
and, like, if you say that and it's true, then that's...
Yeah.
Or, obviously, with Taichi and Yamato, I feel like it comes down to a lot just how much they've fought.
Battled. Because going on
both
now...
of them aren't even entire... At the end, I guess you could say they figured it out, but throughout the movie, it's made apparent that both of them aren't necessarily sure about their future.
Yeah. So they still had potential, but...
They fought too many battles, and I guess at that point, it becomes a thing of, like...
Because as you said while we were watching it, both of them have had Mega for at least 10 years at this point.
Almost 10 years, yeah. So, like, or I guess 10 years, because the events happen in, like, 1999 in Universe, in 01.
Yeah.
So, I guess it would be 10 years then, because
they were, like, 10 or 12 and they got sucked over.
Yeah, and then technically all the events of 01, or most of it, take place in 1 day.
Yeah.
Human time.
Yeah.
So, there is that, and, like, it is vague, and, like, it's not fair, but I think that's kind of the point, is that, you know, life's not fair, and, things get taken away, and you have to, like, I get, like, Gabumon and Agumon and Biyomon, I guess, essentially represent childhood, and, like, all that shit, and you don't have to let go, but, like, you do have to, like, grow up at some point. And another thing is about how they don't, like... I was surprised that Agumon... That was the first time Agumon had been to Tai's apartment at all.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't know how long he's had it, obviously. It had to have been a while, because toward the beginning of the movie...
The mother said, come around once in a while.
Yeah. And, like, he works, too. So, like, Tai's busy... You don't really see why Yamato is busy, but it's made apparent that he also is.
In school.
Yeah, so, like, they don't always have the time to, like, hang out with.
When Agumon goes to his apartment, you really get a feel for how far apart they've grown.
Yeah, especially with the Pwn Mags.
Yeah. I like that, too. Throw that in. It's like, it becomes apparent that, like, they're still very close and stuff, but it's... When you grow up, you just have less time for things, and that's just kind of what it's about.
I realized one thing, just recalling the scenes right now. The government is recruiting child soldiers for a special defense force. Because the tan guy that Yamato's friends with mentions, you're joining that defense force because... After all, you and your friends did save the city this morning.
Yeah. True.
So that has to be a job that only Digidestin could do.
Yeah.
True.
But I do agree that I think it works, and, like, I mean, I think it makes sense that you wouldn't like it, but I think that's kind of the point. But, because that's a thing that people would bring up a lot, is like, okay, sure, that's how they lose them, but why does Joe, who's older and all that, and, like, obviously he's met his potential, but then that comes down to he has not fought as much. Or, I couldn't tell you the rationale for Sora, except that she's met where she's supposed to be at, whereas Joe is still, he's not out of med school yet.
Yeah. But no, I think he's out of med school and was in his first year of residency. But I don't know if that still involves being in med school.
Yeah, and you don't really get to know the order of how they lose them. But, like, the rationale is that the rest of them don't lose them yet, at least because they're not as old.
Yeah.
Even if it's only by a year. Because, like, obviously, Izzy and Mimi are gonna meet that potential before.
Oh yeah, because Izzy's probably already capped his potential.
Izzy and Mimi, I would assume probably would end up losing them around the same time because they both
own
a
a
company basically, and like.
Granted, one's more of an internet company, and the other one's an actual company.
Yeah.
Fashion is not a good company, but it fits Mimi perfectly.
True.
Yes.
Fashion is too subjective.
Speaking of Mimi fans, how as a fan of Mimi, how satisfied were you with Mimi's screen time?
It's pretty trash. I don't think it makes it a bad movie by any means, but like I'm a Koshiro fan too, and I'm barely satisfied with him. Not with him as a character, but how much he's in it.
Right. And he's the main character too.
He should be. But, like, Koshiro, other than Yamato and Taichi, is probably the second most, or third, I guess, most important, like, Digidestin in this movie. But, like, Mimi literally appears in the title sequence, and you don't see her again until Eosmon calls her, and she goes into a coma. Somebody calls it in, and then she's in a hospital room, and Joe calls... and everybody there.
And there are battles, and you don't see her again until the end of the movie. And literally, all you get is seeing her like wake up, and she's like, "Another beautiful day."
Another beautiful day. It's like if you are, and there are like shorts that I was telling you about, Sean, that like expand on Kizuna and stuff that happened before.
Nice.
And like I think some of them are during the movie, but I don't think that really. I don't think you can look at the shorts and be like, hey, that makes up for the main product. Because, like, Mimi is great in the Sora short, because she's one of the characters in that as well. But, like, if you're not a Yamato and Taichi person, you're not going to get as much out of this movie. If you're a Digimon fan at all, you'll get a lot out of it. But, like, in terms of individual characters, don't go into the movie. This is a spoiler review, so people that... For those who are like me and don't really care about spoilers and are watching, like, go see the movie. I can't, like, say that enough. But don't go into it expecting to see Mimi, Joe, Sora.
If you're a Sora fan, I'm sorry.
No, if you're a Sora fan, you get what you deserve.
Like those three in particular are like barely in it. TK and Kari are in it, kind of, and then Koshiro's like a tier above that. The O2 kids are in it probably as much as TK and Kari are, and they're good. Like all the characters are good when they're there, but it just bothers me. I guess I'll get into what I don't like. Because I kind of already am, but like...
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
People are talking about this movie as if it's like an ending, like to everything. Like there's not going to be anything after Kizuna, and I don't necessarily agree with that. But if this would turn out to be the last like original timeline content we get from the Adventure universe, I don't think it's a bad movie, but I think it's a bad ending. Because, as I've told you before, Sean, and Amada already knows about it, the ending of O2 takes place in the year 2027. Everybody's adults. They're pretty vague about, like, who they're, like, married to and shit, except Ken and Yoli are together, and Sora and Matt. That's the only two fucking couples you know for a fact, and Mako didn't exist back then, so...
But she exists now, and I'm happy.
You don't get anything about that. But that takes place in 2027. All the Digimon are alive in the year 2027. So if they end it here, I think it's just mega stupid to not make anything with somewhere... I think it should be like a film or multiple films or another anime. But like if you can't make at least like a manga or something about somewhere in between those 17 years of Kizuna takes place in 2010 to 2027, if you don't make anything in between that time to tell us how the fuck they come back, because there's no hint at all of how they come back or if they will. But if you've seen O2 before, you know they do.
Right.
And you know that the O2 ending is still the ending because every time...
They mention TK has started a book.
Which is his ending. Matt is going to space, which is his ending.
In Kizuna, Ty's like, I'm definitely going to, like, see my boy again or something along those lines.
Yeah, which, like, he want... Like, that's not something he knows for... I mean, like,
it's something...
It's like, I know it in my heart, kind of thing.
I know it in my heart.
And even the text that appears on the screen before the credits hint at there's going to be more.
Yeah, and, like, how... It hints toward Ty being... I think it's a diplomat of the digital world, essentially.
I that's
forget his actual job title.
Ambassador, I believe. But that's what.
Regardless, like, they're all alive still at the end of O2 in the year 2027. This is 2010. If there is nothing in between that, I think that's just a bad call. It's like, if you make this movie and you intend to not make anything else and end it the way they did, I think that's bad. To just leave. It wouldn't be bad if they said, like, at the end, oh, they come back because blah, blah, blah. Or just like the end credit scene is how they come back. Like, that's fine. Yeah. But they didn't do that.
But, disclaimer, he mentioned an end credit scene. There isn't one.
Well, okay, so, like, the end's, like, if there was
just
one...
throwing that out there
if
for
there was
people.
one, that's what it should be.
Yes.
But there's no hint. If you've never seen O2 before and you watch this movie, you probably do think it's just over. But for people that have or do know about the ending, you know it's not. And if they don't show you how they come back, I think that's dumb. And on top of all of that, the last installment of Digimon Adventure, the original timeline, in my mind, should focus... I understand Matt and Ty are the main characters, but if this is supposed to be like reviews and stuff of the movie, are like, oh, this is such a good ending to the cast, the original cast and all that, and I just hard disagree. It is for Ty and Matt, there's no argument.
Yeah.
But like everyone else, we don't even get to see Mimi or Koshiro or Joe fucking cry about losing their Digimon or how it comes about.
To be fair, in that instance, we don't exactly know if those three have lost their Digimon. It's heavily hinted.
I feel like they wouldn't show all the other ones with their Digimon.
But they're still the O2 kids. They still have a lot more time to even in the beginning.
I know, but that's true, but I feel like it's weird to point out.
I can agree with that.
But anyway.
And yeah, it is a little weird for Palmon not to be there with Mimi in a meeting, same with Tentomon. But I wholeheartedly agree that a Digimon should not be in a hospital.
Like, you're not wrong, but I think that is what they're trying to imply, is that they have lost theirs by the time of whatever the pictures are.
Because I think that was Joe as a first-year actual doctor in that photo.
Yeah.
Not pretend.
Still, no more information has been given about Joe's girlfriend, or even if they're still together.
Yeah, you don't find out anything.
So, just to try to get my thoughts all done on that end of things, like, I just feel like it is a not good final installment to it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I think it makes sense if whatever they make next is, like, primarily focused on O2 kids, TK and Kari. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no way Davis just accepts that he's going to lose Vemon.
Oh, yeah. No way whatsoever.
And, like, Davis, if I had to write the movie now, Davis just does something.
There's no way that Davis or TK just accepts their partners are gone.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Is like, I don't think it's a great movie. It is not a good ending
of the franchise.
If it ends here, I'm always gonna feel unsatisfied. I'm always gonna look back on like Adventure 1, 2, Try, Kizuna now with like fondly, but I'm always gonna be like, how do you not like tie it up,
finish it up? Yeah.
Like, why open the franchise again with Try? Well, first of all, they did that to revive the franchise in the first place, and it worked, like, thank God. But, like, why open it up again if you're not going to actually close it? And to be fair, like, when the movie was first, like, coming out in Japan, in interviews and stuff, the producers,
was saying that they didn't want this to be the last one.
They were saying essentially that, and that they, just because it's called Last Evolution or whatever, and because of the ending, that doesn't mean that it is the end, and they would not be opposed to making a follow-up or sequel or something, but it depended on the fans, it depended on financials and their bosses, and then COVID-19 happened. So,
which I think, with all the pre-orders from Shout Factory, all the money that they made in Japan before the incident took place. And with all the revenue they're getting right now from everybody purchasing the Blu-ray and all that, with COVID being an excuse, I think they're going to give them another movie.
All things considered, I think Kizuna has probably performed better than Tenet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 100%. Kizuna has performed better. Probably. I know that.
Like,
not for a fact.
Like, I know it just kept doing well in Japan before the pandemic and afterward, because I ran it again.
Yeah.
After things got safer in Japan. And, like, I hope it does well here, but I feel like they have to know that they weren't going to hit whatever mark they were hoping to hit in a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have to, like, curb their expectations, and I think that if I had to guess, that expectation is going to be met, because I only saw good numbers from Japan. I know that the franchise isn't as big here, but I know a lot of people in America are getting the Shout Factory pre-order, or they're just going to get it at fucking Walmart or something. It doesn't really matter where they get it from, as long as they get it. Because, like, I feel like with how big of a budget and how much they clearly tried with Kizuna, they can't. With Try, you could tell that, like, they were
hesitant.
They were hesitant and weren't, if the fucking obvious production problems that you can Google and find information about aren't clear with Try. Yeah. Like, they were hesitant to put a lot of money into Try, and, like, I get it, and, like, that's why they're in their school uniforms all the time and Try, except Mimi, I guess, and, like, a few exceptions.
Mako.
But, like, anyway, so I feel like you have to make at least one more thing. I don't expect them to make anything else until after the reboot has aired all of its episodes. I don't expect an announcement until then, or maybe even like a year after that. But like ending it here, I feel like, well, yeah, you probably made your money and like good for you. I don't think it's a good ending, and I think there's more to be said.
For sure.
And like the O2 characters, there's more they could do with them.
Yeah.
And, like, I want them to acknowledge or, like, address the epilogue, the ending, O2 ending again, and, like, elaborate more on it. Because I know some people, like the ending, and that's fine, but I just feel it's too vague about a lot of things.
It's way too vague.
And I want them to address it again and, like, either add things or elaborate on things, or both, and close it there. I think that's where you end it. Is because, like, they have to be aware. They're clearly aware of, like, certain things that fans wanted from 01 and 02 but didn't get, because
I can see with the 17-year gap, I can see 2 more movies being made.
Yeah.
One involving the O2 kids, and one involving the next generation.
Yeah.
Or
I don't
a
think
final goodbye for...
Yeah. I don't think they would make, like, this is what their kids do movie. I won't be surprised if they address the epilogue again, but I don't think they'll make that. I feel like there's either going to be one more film or like a trilogy.
Similar to how Try was supposed to be.
What they could do is release like a OVA. I don't know if you know what those are.
I know what an OVA is, yeah.
Yeah, where basically just be like a compilation of all the people that they didn't, like Koshiro and Mimi and their final goodbyes and whatnot.
Yeah, you could release that, but I think that's a thing you would make after you make this hypothetical film that I'm talking
involving
about.
The O2 kids.
Because, if they make a manga or something that covers how they come back, then great, but I still feel like you want, just make an anime or a movie.
Just get it done.
Because, say what you will about Try. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but, they at least...
It's a very good cup of tea.
I agree with you, but, they at least address all of the characters pretty equally. And, whether you agree with the fucking character decisions they make, or, whatever, whether you agree with everything they do with the characters or not, the point is that they still tried to include every character equally. But the thing is, Try was also 6 movies. And I feel like I really like this movie, but I feel like I'd like it a lot more if I knew for a fact there was more afterwards.
Yeah.
Because with it coming out now, and I should have looked into this more, but with interviews they're doing with it coming out in America, there's producers and people that talk, and they say that this is the end, or it is an end. And then they say stuff for Taichi and his friends, and they don't elaborate if that fucking means all of them or what. But I didn't look into if these interviews were with English producers or directors. I don't know. I know it wasn't with Jeff Nimoy, because I fucking know if it was with that Tentamon's voice in America.
Even if we only get a Japanese release for the last movie, hypothetical last movie, and this is the end in the English dubbed.
Yeah,
I mean
that would still be perfectly fine for me.
I mean, if you're a weeb, that's perfect. You know?
Yeah, I know. Lay it on me, Sean. Come on.
I watch subbed anime too. I'm just giving you shit.
But
I haven't left my house in a week.
Hell yeah.
No, you Yu-Gi-Oh, dude.
Yeah, true.
But it's just, if this is it, big nah for me. Since I brought up Try, we might as well make comparisons to certain things.
The lack of screen time for Mako in Kizuna compared to Try has left me sad.
I do like that she is at least in it, and I think Tai is the one that acknowledges her.
Yep, 100%. As I've told you multiple times, Mako is the best relationship for Tai. Not for you, Sean. For you, Joe's the best. Because he at least gives you stability.
Yeah. You could fuck up as many times as you want.
Be a doctor.
And I know people are going to get hate because, you share one moment in a cave with a kid and everybody ships you forever. But
yeah. But, as I was saying before our mishap, this isn't about, shipping and stuff, but, if you like Tai Mako, that's great. If you don't, I don't really care. I'm a Koshiro and Mimi person, and...
we all know that.
Even if I wasn't, and even if you aren't, I think it's pretty undeniable that they have one of the best dynamics in the show, and, as a whole, especially in Try, but it's just to not have that at all in the quote unquote final installment it doesn't feel final. It doesn't feel like a true ending. It doesn't feel like wrapping everything up. So like all these reviewers and people that are saying, "Oh, it feels like a true like goodbye." It is a goodbye, but it's not. It does not feel like a good like wrapped up in a fucking bow ending for everything. And like I understand that Try wasn't either, trust me, but I wouldn't have liked it if Try was like the final ending either. But I do feel like if they ended it where Try was, it would probably be better. Because they don't fucking make anybody disappear at the end of Try, so the O2 ending still makes sense. But now they're in this place where I feel like they need to make more.
They need to make more content, which is good for us if they actually go through and make it.
I mean, but they've been trying to make more content in the name of Digimon Survive. I don't think
that's been delayed for like 2 years now.
3, I think.
It was originally announced in 2018, I think, but regardless, that's not what this is about. Okay?
I mean, well,
I don't remember if I said this before or after the technical difficulty, so forgive me if I say it again.
But Kaizen is a good movie.
I should have like looked into whether or not the producers and directors that are being interviewed now, if they're like the English producers and directors, because that kind of matters. Because like I feel like the English producers and directors, with a few exceptions, obviously, wouldn't know if they're planning on making more or not, because it's really not up to them. It's up to Toei Animation and all those people. When the movie was first coming out in Japan, they were saying that they wanted to make a 5. Definitely know we already talked about this, so I'll just keep it brief. That they want to make more just depends on like fans and all that. Then obviously COVID happened, but if you're a good company, I feel like you gotta curb your expectations.
Yeah.
So hopefully more is coming.
Yes.
But something I brought up, I guess we might as well like compare it to other things in the franchise. So I'll just go first. Going off of, like, it's my first viewing, and this is literally an hour after I watched it for the first time. I will say probably the most controversial thing in the video, that I don't think it's better than Try as a whole. It's better than individual Try movies, absolutely. I don't think it's better than Confession. Confession is still my favorite piece of Digimon media that exists. This movie does get a lot of emotional things out of me, probably more so than Try did, but I'm sorry, nothing topped Hercules Kabuterimon Sacrifice and Confession for me. Like, it just, and I think the reason it hit me harder is because everybody was involved in that. Like, it's sad, don't get me wrong, that Agumon and Gabumon disappear. It is sad. I'm not going to tell you it's not. It is, obviously, depending on who you talk to, probably more sad than the Hercules Kabuterimon scene. But like, Homeboy is literally sacrificing himself when he could have saved himself in that scene. Everybody's involved. All the Digimon are there, and like, it just hits more because everybody is involved. Whereas, for me at least,
I think it hits harder because they had a way to fix it if they would have gotten the cube. Even if they were infected, Izzy could have found a way to separate that data.
Yeah.
Like, he even said he could at some point.
Yeah, there was a way to fix it, but they couldn't do anything about it, basically.
And with this one, we know there's no way to fix it. It's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, and the thing that also, with this, you know that like they're coming back at some point in 17 years. But the Hercules Kabuterimon thing, you knew they were going to be fine, at least. But then they go back and all their memories are gone. And it's like,
and
well,
you don't know if they're going to get their memories back or if they have to remake them.
Yeah, it's like, you don't know if at the ending of O2, if whether or not they're exactly the same, or maybe their memories were wiped and now they're making new ones. You didn't know, so it was different. I don't know. So I still like Tri as a whole more. I think Kizuna is better than probably 4 or 5 of the individual Tri movies, but I don't find it better than Confession.
It's hard to beat Confession, though.
It is my personal favorite piece of Digimon media still. Kizuna is very close. A very close second. Close second overall. Anyway, Sean, what do you think about what I said, pal?
What do I think about what you said about
the Tri comparison, or do you have any other comparisons you want to make?
I think, just speaking particularly about the animation, I think Kizuna beats 01 out of the park.
Yo, wow.
Just completely blows it out of the water.
What an insane opinion. Wow. Incredible.
I mean, 01 looks like it was made in Movie Maker, and no, I'm giving 01 too much shit.
I mean, the scene where Yamato runs past the same tree 3 times looks like it was made in Movie Maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've made that scene again, like recently.
Just like, I want to see him run past the tree more. I like the twee. Sorry. Anyway.
And I think that scene was in like 5 different episodes.
Probably. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of recycled animation in 01. And I mean, they were selling toys, but like...
Yeah.
But no, I was just cracking jokes.
Like, this is not the Tri Defense podcast.
Yeah.
No. It's just my personal feelings.
Well, I mean, all I have to really compare it to is 01 and Tri.
Okay.
I would agree. It definitely is better than most of Tri.
Individually, or do you mean at all? Like, do you like it more than Tri as a whole?
I think Tri does a better job of fleshing out characters. I mean, obviously, like, you don't see Sora. You hardly see Mimi conscious. I think you see Mimi unconscious more in this movie than you do.
Oh, 100%. Because during that whole fight scene, they're technically still unconscious, except Tai and Yamato.
Yeah, but can we count that because the conscious is active?
I don't know, man. She fucking fights with the cactus, and then they wake up.
Man?
They wake up in a hospital bedroom. I don't know.
I'm gonna stick by that statement. You see Mimi unconscious in this movie than you do conscious. I think that speaks volumes. Obviously, Tri gets much more time.
Yeah.
Flesh out characters, and this isn't totally all about.
It's like I said. I might have said this during the 5 minutes where our audio was fucky, but whether you agree with all the character decisions made in Tri or not, they tried to fucking give everybody their due time.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much you complain, Mako stole screen time from other characters.
Mako deserved that screen time.
Yeah, because the movies involve her a lot. Like, they probably could have made something better and not added any new characters. You're right, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The point is what they did make, and they did try to give everybody their due time, and that's why everybody got... Like, every movie had 2 characters they focused on in particular. Again, like, they don't always do super well with that. I feel like Kari and Mako's movie that's not really true that it focuses on those 2, in my opinion.
No.
But, like, with examples like Determination and Confession, which is Mimi Jo, Izzy TK, they do particularly well in that instance. And then, like, even, like, Future, the 6th movie, the final movie to try, it's supposed to focus on all of them. And I feel like it does that better than it is done here, which, obviously, like, the intent of this movie wasn't...
to close out Omnimon Saga.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily to, like, focus on everybody, and I get that. But I feel like if you're going to end it, if you're going to call it an ending, then you better give everybody their due time. I understand that Yamato and Tai are, like, the most important.
Yeah.
And, like, even though I don't necessarily like that much, like, my favorite characters are Mimi, Koshiro, Joe. And, like, I get just enough Koshiro in this movie, but not enough Mimi or Joe whatsoever. And like, if you're gonna end a franchise, I feel like you need to end it and make everybody feel satisfied that the characters that they connect with the most are not gone, but like their stories are effectively over.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
go ahead.
That's pretty much.
Put the gun down.
It's pretty much.
Whoa.
That's pretty much my only.
Do what he says. He has a gun.
Sean, you were talking about the animation comparison.
Yeah. The animation is pretty great. Obviously, we can talk about that shit all day. They can squeeze more.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got it. The audio was fucky again. They can obviously squeeze more money into a tighter space with a feature-length film than what they can with a 6-movie series like Try.
Yeah. Like, obviously, all of Kizuna's animation is better. Like, I'm not going to act like Try is better in every regard, or that Try does everything right, but...
Kizuna's animation is spot on throughout. You're not going to find anything wrong with Kizuna in that regard.
But, like, I just can't agree with reviewers that are like, oh, this feels like a true ending for the original crew, because it is for 2 of them.
Yeah, you just
but, for 3 of them, I mean, Sora got her true ending.
Sora, yeah.
She got what she deserved.
Sure, I don't know. Like,
man,
just, it doesn't feel like an ending to me, and they should make more, is where I'm at. Like, obviously... You can't really make it focused on the 01 people again.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only beef I have with this movie is that I want more, because I do. Like, they have to produce more, for one, for it to make sense. And 2, like, if they can make content this good, then, give me more Toei.
Ending it here, dumb. It ain't.
Yeah.
It don't feel complete, and if you end it here, it's always gonna feel unsatisfying.
You said there's like a 17-year gap between like the end of Kizuna.
Like, they're gonna tell me that you really just can't tell me how the fuck they come back. Like, how you gonna do that? And so they have said the O2 ending is still the canon ending in interviews before this movie even came out.
Yeah, so
like, how you not gonna tell me how the O2 ending happens?
Right.
Effectively, if they end it here, they're basically like, yeah, they come back. How? I don't know, man. They're back. Yeah, cool.
Like, they gotta show us how they do that. We're probably gonna get, like, I don't know, probably another O2 movie or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're probably gonna get, like, more original cast stuff, too.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get much more original cast stuff. Probably final, like, OVA 10-minute episodes.
They're going to be involved in whatever O2 movie comes out.
Yeah.
Or movies.
Yeah.
But
watch it be flipped on its head and O2 kids have the spotlight while O1 kids, like...
captured in a cryogenic tube.
I expect it to focus on O2 kids. But
I can see the main focus of the next movie, if hypothetical movie.
The O2 kids are going to be the ones that solve the problem and make it.
Ken and Davis are finally going to become a couple, only to break up and have Ken go into the arms of Yoli. Davis is going to get depressed by that. Not even try to flirt with Corey. He better not. He's going to fall in love with his noodles so deeply.
Of course.
Ramen Man.
But the O2 kids are going to be the ones that somehow solve the problem. I wouldn't be surprised if that dream dimension or wherever they fight Malomyotismon comes up again.
Finally. Or at least the Dark Ocean finally
like that.
reappears.
Like, who knows? I don't.
Because the O2 kids have 2 different characters that have somewhat of a loose connection to the Dark Ocean.
Yeah. Ken and Kari.
But then 3, because Yoli made it
Yoli was there too, so there better be more. The 01 kids will definitely be in whatever the fuck else comes out, but they're not going to be the ones that directly solve the issue.
Yeah, they won't even be able to help fight. Unless Ty picks up a baseball bat and goes ham on some baking.
I will say, I do think when they do get their Digimon back, I expect them to not be able to evolve.
Yeah.
If I had to write the movie right now, I think Davis makes some argument to homeostasis, Yggdrasil, whoever, that just because you grow up shouldn't mean you have to let go of your friends. And then they'll say something like, oh, well, like, what, you can't fight me more, or something like that. And Davis will effectively be like, so? And then everybody gets their shit back, but they can't Hilshinka anymore. Which, like, that's fine. Like, okay, because
dinosaur back.
They do advertise this as the last adventure for Taichi Yamato, or at least like when they were first promoting it, Tai and Agumon. But I feel like that it probably is for the characters that were prominently featured and probably the 01 characters. But there's room to keep going for sure.
And to close this off, I just want to talk about one final thing. And it's from the credits.
Okay.
The chunky ass motherfucking Patamon sitting there drinking Starbucks.
If I don't see some Twitter PFPs of that boy,
I gotta see some fucking chunky Patamon memes, dog. Like,
dude,
that shit is adorable.
That meme.
Make it a plush. Make it a plush.
The Mimi.
Toei, get on it.
Yeah, the Mimi's outfit in the end credits. Perfect.
Superb.
I'm a Shiro Mimi shipper and a Mimi simp. That's just where I'm at in life.
It's September. I can't simp for anybody right now.
Regardless, like that outfit. Oh my god. There's not many outfit changes in this movie, but when there are some. Wow.
Yeah, you notice.
So I will reiterate again in closing. This is a good movie. When you talk about what you don't like, you have a lot more to say.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So I don't expect all of you to agree with me, but I wanted to try this, get my thoughts out there, get our thoughts out there. Yeah. If you agree with me, cool. If you don't, fine. I'm not going to argue with anybody. Everybody's opinion is valid, unless you're wrong.
Unless you're wrong.
Like all the people who ship Ty and Corey.
Yeah, that's pretty wrong. I'll say that.
All right, well.
So that's it from us.
See you in the Datascape, Digidestins.
Any final words, guys? Any Netscape?
Big
Datascape.
Oh yeah.
Big chunky Patamon plush. Do it.
Chunk boy.